Good day. How is everybody? Well, we have a nice soft rain, and it appears that the sun didn't come up as bright as it usually does this morning. So bear with me a few more minutes. I forgot to supply myself yesterday. And I know you can still hear me, so today is May 30th, 2024. And now you can bear with me. You see, we have a lock on the wine door. So we want to make sure that doesn't disappear when it's not supposed to. It's called the refrigerator. And we lock it to keep out Benedict, who loves to raid the refrigerator. His parasites' cravings are just off the charts sometimes. And he shouldn't eat what he shouldn't eat. And then in the morning, we unlock it for the day. I'm back. Okay, so like I said, today is Thursday, May 30th, 2024. And one more thing that I'm going to do is get my glass of water filled, and then we'll get right to morning prayers. Yep. All right. So another volcano erupted yesterday. Iceland is the largest one they've had in a long time, and there's like a 2.5 mile wide crack, and it's actually beautiful. If you want to go look on some of the channels, YouTube channels, or wherever you watch and see the amazing lava explosions all coming out the crack. It's like a red curtain of lava. So there's a lot of activity going on. In nomine Dei matronam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Trinitarian Theophany, and in Catholic contemplation, humbly adore the Divine Family. Most holy and venerable Trinitarian Theophany, one Divine Family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O Trinitarian Theophany, relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain the pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Matronam Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum. O Trinitarian Theophany, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me, and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Trinitarian Theophany for the many graces that we receive, and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to heaven. O Trinitarian Theophany, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Consecrate them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good, and let us beg of the Trinitarian Theophany the graces which are necessary to us. O Trinitarian Theophany, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Deum matronam nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell. But most of all, because I have offended thee, O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. It is shewn how this secret wisdom is also a stair. It remains to be seen in the second place, to wit, how this secret wisdom is also a stair, as to which we must know that for many reasons may this secret contemplation be called a stair. For like as a fortress is stormed by a stair or ladder, and the valuables and possessions stored therein fall into the hands of the besiegers, so also by this secret contemplation, although she knows not how, the soul mounts aloft and scales rung by rung to the heights and knowledge and possession of the wealth and treasures of heaven. We may likewise call it a stair or ladder, for just as we may make use of the rungs of a ladder not only to mount but to descend, so also these same communications made to the soul by this secret contemplation, whereby she mounts to the Trinitarian Theophany, abases her in herself. For those communications which are in very sooth from the Trinitarian Theophany possess this property, that at one and the same time they humble and exalt her. For on this road, to descend is to mount, and to mount is to descend. For here, he who humbles himself is exalted, and he who exalts himself is humbled. Qui se exaltat, humilitabitur, et qui se humiliat, exaltabitur. And setting aside the fact that the virtue of humility is most noble, the Trinitarian Theophany, so as to exercise the soul therein, makes her to climb this ladder, to bring her down, and brings her down to raise her, so that thus may be accomplished the saying, before the soul shall be exalted, the soul shall be humbled, and before she shall be humbled, she shall be exalted. Likewise, in consonance with this property of the ladder, the soul that is fain to reflect thereon shall most clearly perceive, apart from its spiritual significance, which she doth not realize, how many are the ups and downs she suffers on this journey, and how the fair weather she enjoys is soon followed by some storm and trial, to such an extent that it seems as if the calm was only sent her in order to prepare and strengthen her for her present suffering. As likewise, after misery and torment comes abundance and serenity. So that to the soul it seems that of express purpose she was set first in this austere vigil to prepare her for the high festival that followed. And this is the usual style and method of the state of contemplation, that until the soul reaches the state of perfect quiet, she is never stable in one condition, but is ever rising and descending. The reason for this is that as the state of perfection, which consists in the perfect love of the Trinitarian Theophany and contempt of oneself, cannot exist without these two parts, which are the knowledge of the Trinitarian Theophany and of ourselves. And that of necessity, the soul must first be practiced in the one and then the other, being given to taste of the one by being exalted, and being made the other by being humiliated, until having acquired the habits of perfection, she at last ceases to mount and to descend, having now reached to and united herself with the Trinitarian Theophany, who crowns the summit of this ladder, and on whom it rests and is supported. Because this ladder of contemplation, which, as we have said, emanates from the Trinitarian Theophany, is figured forth by the ladder seen sorry, I just have to edit this here about things that I have to edit. To which is indeed evident, since as a rule, that which it contains of greatest value, which is the lost and annihilation of self, he counts as worthless, and that which is least worth, which is the achievement of his own comfort and pleasure, wherein he more often loses than gains, that he sets most store by. But now, to speak somewhat more substantially, and particularly of this ladder of secret contemplation, we shall say that the chief property wherefore it is here called a ladder is because contemplation is the science of love, which is an infused and amorous apprehension of the Trinitarian Theophany, and which gradually enlightens and impasses the soul until it elevates her step by step to the Trinitarian Theophany, her maker. For love alone it is that unites and joins the soul with the Trinitarian Theophany. Wherefore, in order to make this still clearer, we shall here proceed to set down the steps of this divine ladder, briefly describing the signatures and effects of each one, in order that the soul may thereby conjecture in which of them she is, and to this end we shall classify them according to their effects, as do St. Bernard and St. Thomas. And because the knowledge of them in themselves, for as much as this ladder of love is so secret that the Trinitarian Theophany alone can measure and weigh it in the scales, is not possible by any human way. We'll end it there for today. Tomorrow we'll speak of wherein is commenced the interpretation of the 10 steps or degrees of the mystical stair of the divine love as set forth by St. Bernard and St. Thomas. Okay, and that's gonna conclude the book after we finish that, which is not too long, so we can get to practice, get to work on that stair. Deum vobiscum, quoque apud te. Oremus. O Trinitarian Theophany, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum hoc immaculatum hostiam, quam ego indignus famulus tuus offerit tibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro innumerabilibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentiis meis et pro omnibus circumstantibus sed pro omnibus fidelibus catholicorum vivis atque defunctis ut mihi eridis proficietat salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitatum midibiditu condidisti et midibidus reformasti da nobis, per cuius atque et vini me stadium eius divinitatis esse consortis, qui humanitatis nostrae fieri dignatus es parteceps. Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui te convivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. O ferimus, tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuam deprecantes clementium, ut conspectu divinae majestatis tuae pro nostra totius mundi salute, cum adore suavitatis ascendant. In spiritu humilitatis et in animo contrito suscimiamur a te Deum Iesum Christum et sec fiat sacrificium nostrum in conspectu tu hodie, ut placiat tibi Deum matronam nostrae, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum et sanctificit oblata pro sequendo et accepere hoc sacrificium tuo sanctum nomini praeparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas concoblationum quam tibi afferimus, a memoriam passionis, resurrectionis et ascensionis, Deum Iesum Christum et in honorem Dei matronam nostrae et Papa Peter sanctorum et istorum et omnium sanctorum, ut idis proficiat ad honorem nobis autem ad salutem, et idi pro nobis intercedere dignentur in caelis, cor memoriam agimus in tedis per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, ut meam ac vestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat apud Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, suscipiat Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis ad laudem et gloriam nomini sui ad uditatem, quoque nostram totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, quoque apud te, sursum corda habemus ad Deum. Gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. De igitur clementissimi mater et pater, Deum maternam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium tuum Deum nostrae, supplices rogamus ac petimus. Uti accepta habeas et sanctificas, haec sanctam sacrificium illibata. In primis, que tibi afferimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare, custodiri ad honore et regere digneris tot orbiterarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum famulorum creatuorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We pray for Katie, Gage, Mindy, Clarette, Mark Jr., Maria Josephina Mose, Henry, Barbara, and Benedict Santa Croce, Casey, Mr. Nobody, Anne Botink, the Cantu and Duarte families, John Cahill, Maria and the Lineweaver family, the Dasco, Nye, Tafur, Began, and Wolf families, and Alex Tafur. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantis Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse, any kind of ritual human abuse, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, and medium of exchange with no usury. We pray for a peaceful and smooth transition to this monarchy. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders. Yes, as leaders. We ask for a reversal of the feminist ideology and a return to godly femininity. That people stop lying. Even though they know it may cost some emotional expenditure. We ask that all pornography in the OnlyFans platform be stopped immediately and forever. We ask that you shut down all gateways and portals. Send any demons that came through back. We also ask you to block the passage of any more so-called viruses or pandemics, to leave our animals alone. Let them live in small farm atmospheres to thrive. We ask you to destroy Rome and the Vatican and the satanic document, the Jewish Talmud. We ask you to recognize the authority of the Catholic Church in Fatima, or in Portugal. And we also ask to save the souls from under the dominion of any Jew or Freemason, especially that gives support to Israel. We pray for those souls who ignorantly and unknowingly poisoned themselves by agreeing to what transpired a couple of years ago. We ask that their souls, that they convert now, come here and be given a second chance, that their body may be cleansed. All these things we ask in accordance with the divine family's holy will. Adonium circumstantiam quorum tibi fides, cognita est et nota devotio, quo pro quibus tibi afferimus, vel qui tibi offrant hoc sacrificium, laudis processuisque omnibus, pro redemptione annum aurum suarum prospe salutis et incula aetatis suae, tibi que redum vota sua aeterno Deum vivo et vero, communicantes et venerantes in primis gloriosae semper Deum maternam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum et Beatorum martyrium tuorum, Papae Sancti Petri et Sancti Lucia et Sancti Jacinta et Sancti Francisco et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum quorum editis precibusque concedas ut in omnibus protectionis tuae muniamur auxilio per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Quam oblation unto Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus consecratem acceptabilemque faceri digneris ut nobis corpum et sanguinem fiat dilictissimi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pateretur accepit tabanam in sanctus ac venerabilis manus suas, et derivativis oculis in caelo ad Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens consecravit, de fregit, dedique lunis sui dicens accipite et mandacate ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simile modo postquam ceremonia est, accipienser hunc praeclarum, calicem in sanctus ac venerabilis manus suas item tibi gratias agens, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consequavit, dedique alumni sui dicens accipite et bibite exe omnes, hic est enim calix sanguinis mei mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissionem peccatorum, haec quotescumque feceritis in meum onem facietis. Unde et memores Deum nos servitui, sede plebs, tua sancta iustem Christum filium tuum Deum nostrae, tam beatae, passionis nec non et ab inferis resurrectionis, sed et in caelos gloriosae ascensionis, offerimus praeclare maestati tuis donis ac datis, supra quae propitio axere nuvutur respicieri digneris. Supplices te regamus, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, iubi haec per fede per manus tuum ut quod, ex hac altaris participatione sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinum subserimus, omni sanctificatione, caelesti et gratia repa amor, per innum Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died. We especially pray for Eva Dasco, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibum in Christum quiescentibum locum refugerii lucis et pacis ut indulgeas deprecamur per innum Christum Deum nostrum, per quem haec omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est tibi Dea Matram omnipotenti in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea Matronam Nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Dea Matronam Nostrae, Matram Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis, peccatoribus nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos, quaesimus, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ab omnibus malis, praeteritis praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata gloriosa semper Deum Matronam Nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis, da propitios pacem in diebus nostris, ut ope misericordiae tuae aduiti et peccato simus semper, liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Per eundum Deum nostrum, Iesum Christum Filium Tuum Deum nostrum, qui tecum vivit et regnat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam, pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum, et quoque poten, haec cum extio et consecratio, corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum fiat accipientibus nobis in ad salutem aeternam. pax tecum, et quoque apotai te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, quaparante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuam unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinem tuum ab omnibus iniquitatibus meis, et universis malis, et fac me tui semper in harare mandatis, et numquam separare permittas, qui cum eo Deum matronam nostrae, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, vivis et regnam aeternam. Perceptio, corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indignus sumere, praesumo non mihi proveniat in judicium et condemnationem, sed pro tua pietate prosit mihi ad tutamentum mentis et corporis et ad me delam, percipiendam, qui vivis et regnas, cum Deum matronam nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. In panem calestem accipiem et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deum matronam nostrae non sum dignus, ut intercedectum meum, sed tanto de verbos napetur anima mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sum dignus, ut interes subtectum meum, sed tanto de verbo napetur anima mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sum dignus, ut inter subtectum meum, sed tantum dic verbo et senabatur anima mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quid retribuam Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus quae retribuit mihi, calicem salutaris accipiem et nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo. Laudans invocabo Deum matronam nostrae, et ab inimicis meis salvus ero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima meam. Codori sumpsimus. Deum Iesum Christum, puramente capiamus, et de munere temporae fiat nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum quod sumpsi sanguis quem potavi, tavi adhaereat, visceribus meis et praesta, ut in me non remaniat scelerum macula, quem pura et sancta refecerunt sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote, oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote, ite mises, Deum gratia. Placia tibi sancta Trinitam obsequium servitutis meae, et praesta ut sacrificium coroculis tuae majestatis igninus auctoribus sit acceptabile mihique et omnibus pro quibus irut optile sit te miserante propitiabile per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Matronam nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. O Deum Matronam nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most holy Trinitarian Theophany, I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum, present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and immaculate heart of Deum Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Deum Matronam Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Thank you for your adaptability. Thank you, Michael, for your donation. I appreciate that very much. And good day to everybody. Please have a wonderful day. Stick strong. Be the leader, okay? And encourage the men to be leaders, okay? And what more can I say? Please go and sanctify all those who you meet today. We'll see you tomorrow.